Hello guys, in this video I want to speak about porn addiction, how it happens, what are the reasons why it happens, and how it is possible to quit porn addiction. Why I am able to talk about this thing? Because I had an addiction a couple of years ago, and I have developed a course based on science and my own experience and lots of information and experience of other people. So I have arranged a course, and like a couple of hundreds of people have passed through this course, and then we made a marathon, like a usual nofap marathon, but with less people and more personal assistance to get deeper into a problem and to get the fast response and motivation individually, personally, to each person who were involved into this process. And I gained some experience. Now it will be about 100 days of like the constant marathon where people were joining and walking away after they gathered some experience and they realized that they are able to move on and their will is strong enough to solve the problem. So now I'm at the point when I'm ready to share the experience, to share the main ideas that I got from the course and from this marathon and my own experience. So first thing is why it happens. Why happens the porn addiction? In fact, people who have faced it, they have no doubts that it exists, while many people are just kind of laughing at it because for most people, masturbation, porn is just a part of their normal life. It does not lead to addiction and to our behavior when we cannot control ourselves, and like we're real narcos, we're real drug addicted people. So when it happens, or why it happens, like the first reason why it happens is because we have organized our lives in a way that we cannot face the problems, the stress, we cannot deal with it, cannot digest it as normal people do. This is why an addiction occurs. It happens as an illusion, a way out of a situation that stresses us too much, when our brain, our psychics cannot digest it. It moves somewhere to an illusion. This is what happens actually with many of us. There is a computer internet addiction, there is alcohol addiction, there is relationship addiction, etc., etc. Why it happens? Because instead of solving a problem in our life, we move to an illusion and we gain all our energy instead of fixing the real stress, the causes of stress, just making few steps to solve it, to understand it. We move somewhere else. We move to our addictions. We move to reasoning and thinking about politics, about God, about nature, climate, problems, etc., etc. This is how our brain functions, and we have to realize it. So the main reason is the stress that we have in our life. And one of the ways to quit porn and porn addiction is not to aiming at the problem, not focusing at it and Actually, sometimes it may be even more stressful. We have to take our attention from it to realize the mechanisms, to understand that our subconscious has taken this way of action, of operation, to deal with the real problems. So now we have to get back to real problems and to see why our life is so stressful, why we cannot adapt to life. Yeah, childhood problems, maybe alcoholics in family, we might be victims of different kind of violence, etc., etc. So now is the moment of truth, the moment when we have to deal with our real problems. If it is hard to split it into like small problems that may be fixed, because the big problem is always impossible to solve, we find people, we find assistance. This is why we have psychologists and different kind of just simply people who have experience and people smart enough and people who have good attitude to us. They might be very helpful. So we come and get the advice. We trust them, we get the advice, and we make our first steps to fix the problem. So we organize the life around us, like all aspects, relations, like money and our status and our like the way how we live, how we materially, how we adopt it into life, as our health, everything. We have to fix one by one everything, and we have to come into a point when we are sure in ourselves. There is no longer a huge gap between us and a point where we want to come our illusion. So here we feel always frustrated. We feel always disappointed in life. And we must easily understand that, like the happiness, maybe it comes from the word happen, as what happens now. So it comes from today. It comes with my ability to face problems, to realize that this I can fix, this I cannot fix, here I need help. This is a feel of secure, yes. I feel that I'm ready, I'm able to live, to build. This is a constructive feeling, because we are creating actually our life. We're creating relations. We are we understand life better. This is about adequate. We understand where we are really in this life, and this is how we make next steps. We plan next steps, and when we feel sorrow, when we feel disappointed, it doesn't break us. It is not equal to I am a loser, as I made a failure. This is like the collapse, the biggest collapse in my life. It is not equal. You just feel like, okay, I made a mistake. I made a mistake because I had lack of experience, but I'm going to pass through it. I'm going to do next and next steps. This is about how we get motivation from our life, and like simply setting the real goals and step by step going there. This is an art actually, but this may be learned, and this is the only way to get from addiction. This is the first thing. The second option is necessary when we are too obsessed with porn, when we are too deep into problem, and when we see nothing, when our will is totally broken. So this is the point when we are looking for people, for communities that help to solve it. Nofap marathons or special courses. It involves some work. Yes, it starts with an understanding, then it comes to removing the feel of removing the feeling of guilty, that there is something wrong with us, that we are too weak, that what we do is a sin, etc. Because when we realize the mechanisms of how our brain works, we realize that actually we couldn't do anything but this. But now is the moment of truth, the moment when we can we accept it. Yes, I have an addiction. Yes, this is not about my weakness and will, but about how once my brain has reacted to a very stressful situation, so to feel secure, to save it, to save my mind, I have chosen this way. But now I want to live without it. Now I don't need it anymore, so I want to quit from it. And then you start to learn the techniques, and it starts with dopamine, yeah, that you have to substitute the porn addiction to like many sources of dopamine that doesn't stress you, that is not harmful to you. Then it comes to being conscious, to mindfulness. Then it comes to support. Then it comes to obligations that, for example, on marathon, we write a paper that we are obliged to, I'm obliged to go along with all marathon and make everything possible to quit porn. So it means like quitting from porn video and pictures, etc., etc. So you, for next 30 days, 40 days, 50 days. And we come together and we provide support. It means we can easily discuss this problem. So this is the first step. You already feel that you're not alone, because this is very important. Not many people understand it, but nobody makes things alone. This is what great, inspiring people say, that they would never do anything alone. But for some reason, we don't get it. We're trying to face our problems, to fix it by ourselves. But the reality is that problem may be solved when we become bigger than this problem. And we become bigger when we come together with people with similar problems, with more experience, etc. So we can get higher only communicating with other people. So we come together and we give support, we give understanding, we give a feeling that this has happened to many people before us and after us. And this understanding, like realizing that this is a part of life, it makes it much easier. And then there's obligations, because we give it to each other like a promise, and we don't want to fail. And this is another motivation. And even once we've failed, we don't get broken, because we get the support, and everyone says, it might happen. It has happened to me, it has happened to you. So let's analyze the problem. Let's analyze the situation. How can we avoid it next time? There are a couple of techniques, like simple and that are functioning well. So this is how we move. And then we get the first feeling of freedom, that our will and analyzing the situation, etc., is already sufficient to maintain a good life. it is sufficient to get the feeling, the emotional memory of you acting and reaching your goals, being free, feeling testosterone and feeling motivation and feeling more confident. It gives you already a huge benefit. And then it comes a moment when you may have a relief, yes, when you may break down, etc. But in fact, by this time you have already felt, you have already the emotional memory of you successful, of you free. So next time and next time and next time, it will be easier and easier and easier to quit it forever. Then our sexual system, it also gets used to new mode of operation. For example, it becomes more seldom. You don't overwork the system. It may be more healthy. It may be it produces less sperm, etc. This is how it works. But this is, again, I will remind you that there's our life that creates this stress that we are scared to face and not able to do it. And there are techniques that will remove what we call a porn addiction. And once you have the emotional memory and feeling that you're strong enough, anyway, there will be a moment when you will face the stress of your life. And here is an important moment when you have to fix it, when you have to find proper people, when you have to understand what causes the stress and how to fix it. And then, yeah, it's like left arm and right arm, left leg and right leg. You move forward. It may be fixed quite fast. For example, regarding the porn addiction itself, it may be fixed within 30 days, within 2 months, 60. This is what I saw as maximum. Like people coming to this point already with the strong ability of not jerking, not watching porn, even if they're home alone and feeling stressed, exhausted, totally, they still don't use this possibility to jerk, to masturbate. But at the same time, there is still an open question of how you organize your life. And this is a very important part of this journey. Okay, this is my first video and first person of sharing this experience. Give me your feedback. Think of it. Just try to remember your experience of your previous life and let me know if it works with you, or maybe you have the opposite experience, and it will also be an additional portion to my understanding, so we all can move forward, study this problem better and find solutions. Because this is why I do this, because I want to find solution and want to assist people who face this problem to overcome it and to live a free, good life. Thank you for your attention. See you next time. Bye.